Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and thank you for joining me early this Friday morning on June 27th. I hope everyone has been staying cool and keeping hydrated. It's summer, y'all, and it is hot in the South, right? And with that, we have a very interesting show today. Kind of scary to me a little bit, but very interesting. We have Chris Proper with us with the snake removal of Calhoun County. And it's summertime, and if you live in Alabama, you know that is when you see a lot of snakes. If you are gardening, swimming, hiking, cleaning up around the house, we need to know what to look for, what to do, and what not to do, right? Thank you, Chris, for being with us this morning. Tell me a little bit about how you started snake removal of Calhoun County and how did all this begin?
It was, it's, I don't know, it's just one of those crazy things. I didn't even know there was a need for anything like that until,
right.
And on Facebook one day, somebody had put on there about needing a snake removed, and then I found out there's like 30 or 40 sites of places where people will do that for you. So
wow.
I joined a few of those, and then I just started my own little page. So
oh wow!
And that's
so what is your goal? Well, first of all, what made you want to start it? I mean, are you just a snake lover? They intrigue you? What was the? I mean, after seeing all these things online and everything, and you didn't know there was a need.
Right. And yeah, I'd really rather educate people and have them not kill stuff just for existing.
Right.
I mean, everything deserves to live.
Right. Well,
I think
God puts everything here for a reason, right? We may not like it. We don't like. You don't have to like everything.
Yeah,
right?
You don't have to.
Right. But so, what is your goal of snake removal? You said a little bit about that your goal is to educate people.
Yeah,
number one. Just
to educate people and let them know that the snake's not going to chase you or I don't know, fly across the room and get you,
right.
or something like that. But and just for safety of the person and the snake, mostly what I do is just get them from their house and relocate them somewhere else. So
okay.
they don't have they'll have peace of mind.
Is there a fee involved or anything for you to come
now,
out there?
I started it out totally free, but now gas and everything's so expensive, so I might charge people $20. I mean, it depends on who it is too. If somebody doesn't have the money, I don't mind doing it. I'll do it free all day. But if they do have some money, I'll accept
donate
some
to
tips.
the cause.
Yeah,
right?
I'll gladly accept donations.
Donate to Chris's, helping you out here, making you feel safe at your house by getting the snake. Wow. So, and if somebody do you limit yourself just to Calhoun County?
No, that's what I started out doing. Calhoun County, that's in the name, but now we get people calling from Gadsden and Weiss Lake and
so different, like the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
And that's the number right there that you can call, 256-405-6755.
That's it.
If you need to get in touch with Chris to come and remove such a little critter from your house, right?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, so there's all kinds of snakes. I mean, all over the world, of course. But what are the types of snakes that are most common that you see in Alabama, especially in our area?
The most common are rat snakes.
Rat snakes.
Yeah,
okay.
or there's little snakes. They're about 12 inches long. They're called decays, brown snakes. They get in leaf piles and stuff and live underground. They eat slugs and bugs.
Right.
They're actually good for your garden because they'll keep the bugs off.
They'll keep your bugs out of your
garden. Yeah, and they only get about 12 inches long and about as big around as your pinky. Totally harmless. Hardly ever bite. They will poop on you, but I don't think I may have had one bite me in 30 years, but they're cool little guys.
Non-venomous.
They're non-venomous, but a lot of people think they're baby copperheads or cottonmouths or something, and that's why they get killed. But
They're not.
They're not, but that's the two most common.
So is a
ones they
chicken
get.
snake and a rat snake the same thing?
The same exact thing.
Okay, because I was always told that it was the same thing, so I was just making sure.
Yeah, people call them chicken snakes because they're found mostly
In chicken coops.
in chicken coops,
Getting
eating
the eggs. Yeah.
So, but it's technically a rat snake.
Technically a rat snake, and then you have king snakes,
Yeah.
which is another good snake. You want those around,
Oh yeah, they'll eat everything, and
including
anything,
rattlesnakes.
including the venomous snakes, copperheads, rattlesnakes.
That's why they're called king.
King, yes.
Snake.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, they'll take care of anything.
So instead of killing those, you kind of want those to, and I tell my husband all the time when we see a snake, because we live out in, we live out in the rural area.
Yeah,
So,
you're gonna see 'em.
yeah, we see rat snakes a lot. I mean, a lot. And, I'll just tell my husband, hey, if there's a rat snake out in the yard, you need to go get it and take it to the woods and tell him to go do his business in the woods, as long as outside, out of mind, right?
Yeah,
kind of thing. Because I know that if he's there, he's keeping the field mice away from our house. He's keeping all the other things that we don't want around our house. So we don't kill those. So what other kinds of snakes are very common in Alabama that you might see?
Black racers, and they too will eat anything they can overpower, including a venomous snake.
I did not know that kings.
Racers.
I mean, black racers. So black racers eat.
Black racers will do it too. They'll eat anything.
I learned something new.
If they can take you down, which pretty much most of the time they can, they'll eat whatever snake they
Really?
catch.
So a black racer can get bigger than a rattlesnake?
Not really, but the way now they're not going to eat the big, like you were talking about, the one that was big.
Yeah, real big. Yeah.
But they can eat them. They'll eat the smaller ones and the babies.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and if one's actually a little longer than them, the way they swallow them is they kind of fold them up as they go down. So
that is crazy.
It's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool.
It's crazy because I saw. I mean, several years back, I was at my aunt's house and out like toward Gate 8 Road that way, and in Anniston, and there was that was the longest rat snake I think I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh, the thing was so long, and it had a bunny rabbit, and the rabbit was already dead, but it was already starting to, and to what I watched it and the way that his body was contracting and it's amazing. I mean,
it's amazing.
It's amazing how they eat, like how their body's made, and then how they eat that. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So what are some other kind of types of snakes are in Alabama?
We've got the corn snakes, which is the cousin of the rat snake. They're for real. They're both Pantheropus species, so it's a rat snake. And a lot of people call them red rat snakes. The corn snakes.
The corn snakes.
Yeah, because they're technically a rat snake, but we've got a lot of those.
And then these are the venomous snakes of Alabama.
Yeah, the venomous snakes. Now, in Alabama, that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 venomous snakes in the whole state. But up here in Calhoun County in northeast Alabama, you don't have to worry about the coral snake, because we don't have those. We don't have the pygmy rattlesnakes, and we don't have the eastern diamondback. So really up here, if you know the timber rattlesnake, the cottonmouth, and the copperhead, everything else is, if you know that they're venomous, you know that every other snake you see that's not one of those is non-venomous.
Right,
so
unless someone let
do.
their pet go or something, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, I mean, so the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, I always thought that they were like up in the mountains, like
No,
I mean,
they're actually down towards the beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're more down in South Alabama, South Georgia, and Florida.
Okay.
And then up the East Coast, you can find them up to about North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So the closer to the beach you go.
And so the eastern coral snake, you said that, now those are in water, aren't they? Or no?
No, those are mostly snakes that live, fossorial snakes, they live mostly in the ground. You hardly ever see those even if you live around them.
Oh, really?
Because they live underground, yeah, and they'll come out every now and then, but they're in the same places that the eastern diamondbacks are in.
Okay, and how about the pygmy rattlesnake?
And they're down there too. They like it hot, real hot.
They like hot. So they're super cold-blooded.
Yeah, they are. They are. You know, if you go to the beach and the sand's real hot, you know, if you burn your feet, they like that kind of stuff. So those are mainly down south in Florida. We see most of them in Florida and Gulf Shores, down around there.
Wow. So, gosh. So do you see a lot of people that have had, like, I guess, pets and that they let them go, and then all of a sudden you find one that's ventured off somewhere and came to somebody else's house, and then you had to go rescue it?
I do, but not venomous snakes.
Not venomous, but like pythons.
I've caught
boas.
several pythons, several boas, a bunch of lizards.
So you don't just do snakes. You rescue lizards
I'll
too.
get a lizard or a turtle or any amphibian. As long as if it doesn't have fur on it, I'll go get it. If it's got scales or a shell.
Calhoun County's own turtle snake man over here.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. But,
so you grew up in this area. So have you always just snakes have always intrigued you, and you just wanted to learn more about it? I mean, how did all this come about?
Yeah, we've always liked them. Now, I ain't gonna lie, when I was smaller, hearing all the stories, like we were talking about Lonesome Dove, you kind of scared of snakes, and and then as I grew up and read some books and learned about them and saw Mr. Yarbrough coming to the school. You remember him?
I remember Mr. Yarbrough.
Yep,
I remember him very well.
And he was like, I want to do that, or I was like, I want to do that when I grew up. And we've done a few shows, nothing like he's done. But
right. Do you guys remember Mr. Yarbrough out there in TV land out there, our audience? I mean, I remember that. I remember he had this one big snake.
Yeah, and you could get picked and go hold it.
Yeah, and he would have like so many of the students come and get it and hold it. I remember him, but he was all about some snakes. I remember that. I think his daughter actually took over for a little while too.
Did.
I don't know if she's still doing it, but
she passed away during COVID.
Oh man.
So, but she had taken over. And now,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to have to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. And you're watching WEAC TV 24's Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
I'm Alan Parnell, Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Hey guys, this is Blair Smith at Pediatrics Plus here in Anniston, located on Henry Road. I'm over here on the well side, but we do also have a sick side urgent care if you need us. We are more than happy to see you guys. Just come on, check us out if you get a fever, cough, or cold, or want to come in for a good checkup. Thank you.
Backus Bibles and Books is dedicated to providing churches as well as individuals with products and services geared towards strengthening every relationship with Christ. We specialize in Bibles, Bible imprints, Bible restoration, church supplies, home decor, gifts, and apparel. Call us at 256-201-1202 or visit us Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 1100 Highway Drive in Oxford, Alabama. We look forward to serving you, equipping the people of God to expand the kingdom of God.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and I'm here with Chris Proper with the snake removal of Calhoun County and surrounding areas, we learned.
Yeah.
And not only snakes, but lizards and turtles, all the things without fur, he says.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
fur or feathers, right?
Right.
Without fur or feathers. So this is very educational, and the reason why I had Chris come on, every Friday we talk about, I love to educate our audience about all the resources and things out in our area, and I feel like this is something that many people may not know about, and so now that you know, if you have a snake in your area, you could call Chris. His number is 256-405-6755, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it.
You can call Chris and he will come out and try to get the snake. There's the phone number if you're in the surrounding areas as well. And so I feel like this was really needed because it is summertime. All the snakes are out, or most of them.
Oh, yeah, all
Right?
of them.
Because it's not cold weather anymore.
Right,
So they're not
exactly.
hibernating, right? So I feel like people that are gardening and enjoying even their swimming pools, because I remember growing up having a swimming pool, and I grew up in Pleasant Valley, and I remember that my dad finally had to make me a little tool to reach down there and get the basket because I
Yeah,
wouldn't put
we
my
get a
hand
lot
in
out of
there.
swimming pools.
Yes, because there was like snakes in there sometimes, but now people that swim, and in creeks, lakes, rivers, I'm fishing, swimming, floating the creek, all that kind, and just cleaning up around your house and stuff, you're going to see more. So I feel
Right.
like this is something that we all needed to be educated about. So let's talk about venomous snakes versus non-venomous snakes. So the differences. And I was always taught that the shape of their heads and their eyes are a telltale sign, but I know we have a picture of this copperhead with eyes that dilate, and they dilate in low light conditions. That's what you said?
Yeah.
So I was always taught that a poisonous snake had like slits in their eyes, and like a non-poisonous snake, they do not have
They
slits.
have the round pupils,
Have the
yeah.
round pupils.
Yeah.
Is that a myth?
No, it's not a myth. They do have the cat eyes or the
Right, yeah, the
slitting
yeah.
eyes, but they can change in low light conditions or whatever. They're just like our eyes. They can
They dilate.
or
That is creepy.
so.
Okay.
So if you see a snake with round pupils and it's like low light, it doesn't necessarily mean
that it's a non-poisonous snake.
The best advice is if you don't know what it is,
Leave it alone.
leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
That's the best thing
Yes,
you can do.
I agree with that. But I know, and then I know, like I said, that and I heard that their heads are always like a poisonous snake. Their heads are more like a diamond, like a viper, or what they call
Yeah.
vipers. They have more of a diamond-shaped head, whereas your rat snakes, your king snakes, your light racers or whatever have more of a round head. But you sent a graphic
Yeah.
about their defensive head postures and their non-defensive head postures. So a defensive head posture looks more like a diamond.
It does. It looks like an arrow, and
Yes.
And when I go catch them, especially water snakes now, water snakes can really flatten their head out. I
Really?
wish I would have seen. They look like arrowhead. Just
Even though
perfect.
it's non-poison.
Yeah, they'll look more venomous than a rattlesnake.
Wow.
Yeah, when they get they bow up, they'll flatten their body or fatten their body out, and they'll flatten their head, and it makes them.
So they
look,
puff their body out and flatten their head out to make their head
Yeah,
look
that's
bigger.
their defensive
Like,
posture, yeah.
Yeah, well that would make sense.
yeah,
'cause
and a
they're-
lot of people.
Yeah, think it's some poisonous snake and then they'll
but,
kill it.
But
So
it's really not.
And so their heads changed to. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because these are, and we'll get to myths later on, but that's just things that, I even learned growing up as a little girl. Like I said, I used to ride horses after school all the time, and I would saddle up my own horse and everything. And my dad, told me, he said, well, you're not going to go out there and ride horses unless you know about snakes. He said, you always leave them alone. That was the first thing he taught me.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a
said,
good rule.
poisonous or non-poisonous,
Yeah.
you leave it alone. You know, he said, and you know, snakes and pretty much horses will tell you if a snake's around anyway too.
Oh yeah.
But you know, he wanted me to be educated about it, so my dad would bring snakes around and, you know, like to let me look or whatever. And we talked about this during break too, or before that we started the show, about how I remember, and I told you about when I first moved into my house, there was a timber rattler in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it, but I smelled them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought that I was crazy when I told them that, but I'm not crazy, right? Because
No, there's a lot of people that swear they can. Yeah, they do.
because you said that's another defense mechanism.
Yeah, they'll
snakes have.
musk. Now, if you, like, when you pick one up, or if they do that for, like, birds of prey will come down and pick them up and try to eat them, or whatever's trying to eat them.
Right.
So when they do that, they'll musk, kind of like a skunk, and it stinks. And it's like that's another defensive mechanism they have. They don't have arms or legs. They can only bite or poop on you. That's it. That's it. That's all they got. So I mean.
Or musk you.
Yeah,
right?
that musk. That's what I'm calling the. It's not poop. It's like some enzymes, but it stinks pretty bad.
Right. Well, I mean, I smelt it that morning, and I was just, and I guess because once I figured out where it was, I wasn't too far from it.
Yeah.
Because it was wrapped and coiled around one of my concrete planters sunning that morning.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then when I turned around and looked, I went, "Oh, there you are."
You say, oh no.
Yeah. He was as long as my leg and as big around as a Coke can. He was not a little fellow. He wasn't like super long, but he wasn't teeny either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Scared the
out
Jesus out of me, you know. So, so we're talking about the difference about venomous versus non-venomous, and their comparisons and everything. And so one of the things that you also sent a graphic about, which I think this is a fantastic graphic. So talking about the venomous copperheads, cottonmouths, and then like a harmless water snake, and like the difference between their patterns. And I thought this was kind of neat. Hershey Kisses versus tornadoes.
Yeah, the Hershey Kiss thing, and you go by, and I'm saying that Hershey Kisses, you go by the dark pattern on them. So
the darker pattern.
You've got a lighter and then the darker pattern.
Right, so you go by the darkest pattern.
The darkest pattern, and if it looks like a Hershey Kiss, you can tell, see where the top, that's a copperhead, and then the cottonmouth in the middle, and then those are guys you don't want to get bit by. You don't want to mess with those. But at the bottom, that's a water snake. They've got the tornadoes and not the copperhead.
And it does look like little tornadoes, the darker.
The Hershey Kiss. Yeah, they're the darker ones, and they're fine. And you can see water snakes. You'll see lines on their bottom jaw.
I have seen that before.
Yeah, if you see lines on the bottom jaw, they're good.
Lines like where their, I guess where their fangs are, or whatever.
Well, where
their mouth opens.
Where their mouth opens. It's on the bottom part of their jaw. Yeah, they'll have the lines.
Okay.
That you don't have. You've got a non-venomous snake if you see those.
I just think that's so cool. And you know, there was another myth that I always heard growing up too, that cottonmouths and copperheads were the same thing, and they're not.
They're not. They're in the same species. They're cousins also.
Oh dear.
They're both Echistrodons.
Yeah.
But and a long time ago, one was called the lowland moccasin, one was called a highland moccasin, and then they changed them.
They changed the names from to a cottonmouth and then a copperhead.
Right.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, I always heard that one of them was very aggressive. Is that true?
They say the cottonmouth is aggressive, and they say the cottonmouth will chase you. And there's actually on Facebook, there's a bunch of people who got together and pulled a bunch of money, and if you can show them an actual video of a cottonmouth chasing you, you get like, I mean, it might be up to $10,000 or $12,000 now. They just don't chase
because
people.
they really don't.
They don't.
That's a myth.
Now there's a plain belly water snake, and it looks almost exactly like a cottonmouth, except it doesn't have a pattern on it. Now those can be very defensive, and if you get around them, they might jump at you and
Jump in the boat
act a
with
fool.
you.
Well, they'll like kind of come towards you. They're not scared. They are scared, but they're not scared to come at you a little bit.
Right, right.
And a lot of people think those are cottonmouths, and they get killed a lot because of that. People
and then
think they're cottonmouths.
not king snakes, black racers. Black racers, they will chase you, right?
Yeah, a lot of people think. Mr. Yarbrough used to say that. Matter of fact, you could run from them and they would chase you, and then you could turn around and chase them. I've personally never been able to do it. I've tried it. I've tried it several times since I was.
Come on, play with me.
Yeah, I'm like, come here, snake. But it hadn't ever worked for me. I'm not saying it isn't true, but I've heard so many people say it is that I tend to kind of believe them.
Right, right. But I remember hearing older folks that, like in my family and different people that I know, I remember them telling me, like when they were growing up a long time ago, that was a thing, like in their yard to like chase
I'd always heard
snake,
that
like
too.
chase. Yeah, I've heard that my whole life, but I've never seen it myself.
Right.
Like you said, I've
never seen it,
I've
but
never
I've
seen
heard.
it. But that is just so cool. Again, the Hershey Kisses and the tornadoes.
Yeah.
Two things us Southerners know very well.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So if they have the Hershey Kisses or the tornadoes, you look at the darker pattern.
Yeah.
You said again. Let's reiterate that. Maybe show the because the you go by the darker pattern.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
the darker patterns do look like Hershey Kisses, and then the darker pattern on the bottom it looks like little tornadoes.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's a good way to remember that.
That's the only good tornado there is.
Yeah, that's the only good tornado there is. That's for sure, no doubt. And actually, you have some friends you brought with us today too, but they're non-venomous because I made sure of that. I made sure of that. My mother, you wouldn't love like my mother's European, okay, but my mother, she didn't like snakes. She never had to deal with snakes until she came to Alabama to the United States. My mother used to always say they make wonderful shoes and matching handbags.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but that was my
They do.
mom. So, but I'm all for they got to do what they got to do as long as they're not around me. So I will definitely be calling you if I ever see a poisonous snake in my yard.
Yeah.
Or anywhere near me. And we've got so much to talk about. We're going to talk about mistaken identities and myths and all that kind of stuff. And I want you to also show some of your friends that you brought too as well when we come back, so that you can kind of see what he's talking about as far as the friendly versus the non-friendly, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and we'll be right back.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller, and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
Hey, this is Jason at Reeves Insurance. Just want to say a quick thank you to all of our customers for your support over the years. We now have offices in Anniston, Alexandria, and Oxford in order to serve you better. So stop in and see me or any of our experienced staff and let us shop for you. We'll find you the best price and the best coverage available. Thank you.
The Civilian Marksmanship Program, also known as CMP, is a national organization dedicated to training and educating U.S. citizens in responsible uses of firearms and air guns through gun safety training, marksmanship training, and competitions. Their vision is to lead the nation in marksmanship excellence, providing safe, high-quality, and innovative programs with a focus on youth. For more information about the CMP and upcoming events, visit thecmp.org.
And we are back to the Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares program. We're talking all things snakes today because it is summertime. So we have Chris Proper here with the Snake Removal of Calhoun County, and we've been talking everything. If you missed the first part of the show, guys, you need to go back and watch it. So make sure to go to YouTube, Roku, Fire Stick, Facebook, wherever you get the show, and make sure that you watch it because it's very good information. It's very educational. And we were talking during the break, Chris, about juveniles versus adults. And so many people think that baby snakes are not dangerous, but then there's some that they say that they are the most dangerous because they can't control their venom. And you said that's a myth.
That they can control their venom. They're born being able to control their venom. You don't want to get bit by one. It would still be a bad day. They've got a lot less venom than a grown-up.
An adult.
Yeah.
Right. But you had a good point. You were talking about how you look at a venomous snake's head versus a baby's venomous snake's head, and if their venom glands are behind, you said,
like right
in their
here.
neck or whatever. Yeah. So where it's pointing.
Yeah, that's where it comes out.
Yeah, where it comes out. So then that would make sense.
Yeah,
most
they've
definitely.
got a lot more in the adult than the juvenile.
Right, and so cases of mistaken identity. So we were talking about the timber rattlesnake and the copperhead and the cottonmouth, like right here. So versus the non-venomous. Wow, look at all those patterns. That's just, and I guess by looking at all those patterns, it's just probably best just to leave all snakes alone. Because I don't want to get that close up to make sure that it has tornadoes or Hershey Kisses on it.
And if you're looking straight down at them, the tornadoes and the Hershey Kisses goes out the window. That's only from the side view.
Yeah, so. That's from the side view. That you are correct on that. So these are just some cases of mistaken identity where I can see where a timber rattlesnake and an eastern hognose like that could be mistaken. I mean, and especially the bottom one. The northern water snake and the cottonmouth, they do look very similar,
that's what's bad to be a water snake. they get killed so much because people swear they're cottonmouths,
and they're really not.
They're not.
But that's just like some comparisons, folks, so that you have something to look at. This is really, really neat. Interesting to talk about. So, how to tell if a snake is dangerous? I thought this was a fantastic graphic.
It's awesome. It's
awesome. Yes. Are you leaving it alone? You know what I mean? So, as you can see by going through the graphic here, are you leaving it alone? Then it's not dangerous. Does it have a chance to escape? If it does, it's not dangerous. Are you trying to harm it, kill it, grab it, or harass it in a way? Then yes, it is dangerous. So if you're not, then it's not dangerous. So it's just common sense, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's saying leave it alone.
Yeah, just like if you spot it and you don't want it on your property, you can just call your number.
Yeah,
somebody can just call your number and say, hey, I don't know if it's poisonous or non-poisonous. I mean, right? They don't have to tell you what species it is, right?
Yeah, they don't have to tell me. I'll go grab whatever. And it's not just me now. It's I've got several people that I've met through this and that help me.
That help you?
Yeah, like because if I've got 4 snake calls at the same time and they're
that's
on
hard for you to get to all of them.
Yeah, and time is of the essence or whatever, so I've got other people I can call and they help me out, and they're very very good too, and everybody
you communicate.
We do, and we've got our own little chat group.
Right,
we can text each other, but we've got there's probably 8 or 9 people.
And I think he even has a girl. Don't you have a girl that helps you too?
I've got, you know what, there are more females that help me than males.
You go, ladies.
And in our mother group, Alabama Snake Removers, we're all over the state in that group. But they're more. I believe there are more females than males.
Wow.
And there's probably 60 of us in that group.
Much respect, ladies. Much respect.
Oh, yeah,
because
we've got some bad women
I'm
on
out.
our team.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
I will leave that to you. That's your expertise, not mine.
Yeah.
So we have another graphic about the venomous, about do not mess with snakes that could be venomous, because I think the one that we're talking, yeah, this one right here, it was motionless. It's just trying to protect itself, right?
Right, yeah, when they see us coming, what they see is a big predator. So,
Right.
And their first line of defense is camouflage. Like, that's why they blend in so well to the environment.
Right,
So,
and then we have the next graphic talking about completely harmless versus venomous, and like the adult brown snake versus the eastern copperhead. And wow, that's a big difference too, isn't it?
Yeah, and
that's a real big difference.
that's that decays I was talking about earlier. They only get about 12 inches long.
So
and-
that's the one that you said, the little brown snakes that eat all the bugs and stuff
Yeah,
out of your
they're
garden.
for your
So those are,
garden,
you want those little guys around.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a garden, because they'll keep the bugs out of your
Yeah, and
garden.
they're not gonna harm you. You probably
And you said they only get about 12 inches long, so they don't get that big
no,
either.
they don't. And the only time you'll ever see them is if you're raking, because they stay under leaf litter.
Oh, they like to stay under
Yeah.
leaves. Okay, gotcha. So, the other graphic that you sent, which I thought was very interesting, is which, how can you make sure not to have a snake-friendly environment at your home, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that you said, that animals need 3 things to survive, and that's food, water, and shelter. So you said these are some of the things that you said to keep your yard mowed. That's kind of common sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because if you don't have, guys, if you don't mow your yard, that's like, I know for a fact that little mice like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And where the mice are, that's where the snakes are going to be.
They're coming right behind us.
Right. So keep your bushes trimmed, flower beds, keep them good, mulch to a minimum, remove leaf, junk, and wood piles, keep your pet food picked up, move bird feeders as far away from your house as possible.
And that is so true. I get more rattlesnake calls. The most rattlesnake calls I get, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but more of the rattlesnake calls I get are because of bird feeders.
So, so statistically, the most of your rattlesnake calls are caused by bird feeders.
Bird feeders.
Close to the house.
Yeah, and because birds are messy eaters, they'll sling
the bird food around, so keep them mine are in my yard.
And then mice will come up to eat the seeds that the birds, and then the snakes are.
And I have an owl at my house too, and I think the owl kind of like gets all the chipmunks and stuff too that comes after that.
Yeah.
We've noticed that.
Owls are pretty. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, they
don't mess
and he's a
with
big
them.
one too.
Oh, yeah,
He's awesome. Yeah, I love to hear him at night. So you were talking, and then I had you bring something because I thought this was very interesting. You said to use a 1/4-inch hardware cloth buried at least 6 inches to seal up under your house, sheds, and porch. Can you show? Because I think that you brought some of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I brought a little piece of it.
Like it's just like a
It's like a big screen, but it's thicker.
Yeah, it's like a. It feels like a. It's like metal,
Yeah, and squirrels can't chew through it. A snake can't get through it. Nothing can get through it. You can.
So that's something good to get. It's called hardware cloth, even though it's not cloth.
Yeah, and they sell it everywhere. I think you can even get it at Walmart in the outdoor section, but Lowe's.
So that's pretty much
Tractor
good to
Supply,
keep.
everything.
Like it says to use it and bury it 6 inches to seal up under your house, your sheds, and your porches. So to put it around the vicinity so they
Right.
won't get under your house or anything. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and then where your pipes or your vent from your dryer comes out, if there's a hole, you can cut this stuff pretty easy.
Yeah, you
and
don't
put
want
it
Sammy Snake coming up in your house
in,
through the
in your
wash.
dryer. Say,
Yeah,
hey,
or
in your washing
yes.
machine. Yeah.
And I've always seen too where some people get snakes in their toilets too.
I've got several out of toilet, a bunch of them out of.
Oh,
tubs.
wow. And it says to keep out larger snakes and snakes that climb well, the hardware cloth needs to be bent at a 15 to 30 degree angle, you said?
Yeah, you can just bend it out like, it's really good for chicken coops too. If you've got chickens, you can just bend it out like that, and they'll try to climb over it, but they can't do it.
They can't climb over it. Oh, that's pretty interesting. So the myths, and well, when swimming in lakes, creeks, and even pools, how alarmed does someone need to be if they see a snake swimming in the water? I know I've seen a few while floating a creek, and I'm sorry to our graphics person that I'm getting this out of order a little bit, but venomous snakes, you said they swim on top of the water, but do they?
Well, that's
or do they both?
They do both. They can. A lot of people think that if you see a snake swimming on top of the water, it's venomous, and
it's not.
That's not necessarily true, because they're buoyant. They can, all venomous, non-venomous, they can control their buoyancy with how much air they put in their lungs, and non-venomous can swim on top of the water.
And look at the water snake versus the cottonmouth. I can kind of see, even though the cottonmouth is a little bit different, a little bit, I guess, a lighter kind of color, the water snake that's harmless, on here, I can see the pattern.
Yeah, the main thing on that, if you're looking at them like that, looking down on them.
Yeah. The next graphic.
It's got, like, you can't see his eyes from the top.
Oh, you can't see his eyes from the top. Because it's got that supraocular
scale that's above their eyes, so you can't see it. But if you look at the water snake, you can see their eyeballs from the top.
Oh.
So if you can't see their eyes
from the top,
you might want to start backing up.
Like right here is what he's talking about. So the one on the right, you can't see his eyes from the top, but the one on the left you can. So that's bad versus good, right?
Yeah, bad versus good.
Bad versus good. And so we're going to talk about the myths and versus, facts too. Talking about that, about the common myths that, like you said here, the southeast and northeast, like when it comes to cottonmouths, they're mostly, and you said, there's different snakes all in the different parts of America, so we can't really compare, so if you're in Texas, like you said earlier before, you can only go by
that red
only go by what
yellow.
We said earlier when you're in Alabama. So, so when we come back, I want to talk about all these myths, like you see right here on the screen, and then we're going to talk about how to stay safe and smart and coexist with them, and how to call you again. And then we're going to, when we get back to, we're going to talk to you or let him show you his friends. I may or may not hold one, I don't know. But anyway, so stay tuned, because it could be interesting. You are watching the Alabama Cares Rise and Shine program right here on WEAC TV 24, and we'll be right back.
On average, a tow truck operator is killed every 6 days in the United States. A tragic, yet preventable event. The fact is, most people don't know what it's like being a tow truck operator. The dangers that occur while servicing a roadside vehicle are real. However, you can make a difference to help lower this statistic and save lives by simply slowing down and moving over. This simple task can prevent an unnecessary death and allow workers to make it home to the families waiting for them. After all, it's the law in all 50 states, for good reason. Do your part so they can live another day and be there for you when you need them. Move over. Their lives don't belong to you.
Backus Bibles and Books is dedicated to providing churches as well as individuals with products and services geared towards strengthening every relationship with Christ. We specialize in Bibles, Bible imprints, Bible restoration, church supplies, home decor, gifts, and apparel. Call us at 256-201-1202 or visit us Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 1100 Highway Drive in Oxford, Alabama. We look forward to serving you, equipping the people of God to expand the kingdom of God.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA. Most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares program. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and I'm here with Chris Proper with the snake removal of Calhoun County. And we have been talking all things snakes today. I've learned a lot today. Thank you very much.
You're
I have
welcome.
learned a lot. And if you guys missed, all this show, you really need to go back on YouTube, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Facebook, whatever it is that you watch it on, and make sure that you watch it all, because I think it's very educational. And since we do live in the South and it is summertime and we're all out here swimming and gardening and all the things, it's something that we need to make sure that we are aware, be snake aware. And you are with the snake removal of Calhoun County, so if you need to call him to remove any snake, you do not have to know what kind it is, so don't get close and friendly to find out, because he'll just come get it.
Yeah.
So you can call 256-405-6755 and he will come get it. And you said you have some folks that work with you too, so it might be you or one of your cohorts there that'll come do that. So before we left on the break, we were talking about cottonmouth myths versus facts. So I just want to show that right quick before we get to your friends over there. So we're talking about the facts here. So we were talking about how we already discussed how they live in the Southeast and Midwest, kind of, right? Mm-hmm. So we had kind of already talked about the cottonmouths jumping in your boat. That is not fact at all. That's just a myth.
Yeah, they're too heavy-bodied to get up in.
Right, and then I thought this was kind of interesting. You can fall into a cottonmouth breeding ball. That was kind of interesting, but that is also a myth.
The myth of every state, every city has heard about the guy water skiing and he wiped out into a. Have you ever heard it? And I'm sure your viewers have. And somebody's wiped out and fell into a cottonmouth mating ball and got killed. That's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
Now water snakes will get in a mating ball, but cottonmouths don't.
And water snakes are non-venomous too,
right,
in Alabama.
Right.
So that is definitely, and I love that. Nothing to say here. That's so funny. Okay, so and then what's the last one? They will chase you. We talked a little bit about that earlier too. That's a myth altogether.
I wish they would chase you and make it easier for me to catch them.
Come here, snake. Yeah, right. So the whole thing is to stay safe and to stay smart and to coexist with them. And so if you want to get out one of your friends over here and kind of show them, and two, I think it's kind of neat too if we could show the graphic about their scales on their tails, on their you were talking about how right here the cottonmouth and rattlesnake, they have one set, right?
Yeah, when it goes down past their stomach, when it gets to their cloaca.
Right.
You have to look that word up.
Yeah, look at it, Google it.
And below that, their vent, I call it their vent. Below that, if there's just one set of scales, they'll have one up all the way down, but then below that, if they've still just got one, it's either going to be a rattlesnake, a copperhead, or a cottonmouth.
Right.
So you'll know. But any other one will have two scales.
Like divided in the middle, like.
Yeah, it'll be divided and it'll have two scales.
Going all the way down. That's kind of cool.
That means it's totally non-venomous,
but
unless
guys,
it's a coil
we know
snake,
that you're not going to get down before you call Chris, you're not going to get down there and look at his eyes. You're not going to look and pay attention to the tornadoes or the candy kisses or its scales or its eyeballs. You just need to call Chris.
Yeah,
right?
don't even worry about all that.
At 256-405-6755. So keep that up for a minute. Make sure y'all write that number down, and then Chris is going to show us. Oh dear, he's going to.
Well, I'll get this one up.
He's going to bring out the big boy, I think.
No, it's not a big one. It's about as big as that one. Hey, buddy. He stinks a little. He spilt his water. I'm so sorry.
He spilt his water?
Yeah, he stinks a little. but this is a corn snake.
That's the corn snake.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of pretty
He's
though.
dripping. Yeah, he is pretty. You see he's kind of iridescent, and he's a
Yeah,
pretty
he's
little
very
snake.
pretty.
And they've got their belly.
Oh, look under his underbelly.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it looks like a
It looks like a checkerboard.
piano or a checkerboard or whatever. Yeah. But
Yeah.
these
So
are
have you
pretty-
had him since he was little, or is that how you rescued him?
I got this guy out of the road like 2 nights ago.
Oh, dude, you was like nearly roadkill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're usually very cool snakes.
Look how, I mean, he's just so like calm, like whatever.
Yeah, and I've only held him probably 3 times since the other night, so.
And he's not
real-
scared.
No, he's a pretty cool little guy, but they're kin to the rat snakes, like I said, but.
And
So
so yeah, I mean, and to coexist with them, one of the things we were talking about is like it's free pest control,
right, exactly.
because they eat rats and mice and
Moles and voles.
moles, yeah, all the
ground
bad
squirrels,
stuff,
yeah.
like all the
Stuff that'll dig your yard up.
Yeah. Do they eat insects too, like grubs and like all that kind of stuff?
That's what those little decays are for.
Yeah, the little ones that you said only get 12 inches.
Yeah.
The little brown snakes.
Decays,
Yeah, those are
brown
kind of
snake.
cool.
Yeah, and then there's an earth snake, and there's a couple other snakes that.
Now I have noticed that when I've cut the yard before, I've noticed that wouldn't call it a snake. It looked like a big worm.
Now there
that
is
was
a
the
worm.
weirdest looking thing I've ever seen, but it was only about like that big.
And if you look, if it's got scales on it, there's actually a worm snake. It'll look like a big worm, but it's technically a snake. But they're pretty cool.
Oh,
when you
wow.
catch them.
So does he have a name, Mr. Snake?
This one, my granddaughter, my wife called my granddaughter last night and asked her what she wanted to name her, because this one's a female, and she's little now. She said her name is Bella Sherry.
Bella Sherry.
Yeah.
This is Bella Sherry.
The granddaughter's name all my snakes, so this is Bella Sherry.
That's Bella Sherry. So who is the other friend you have? Oh dear.
That's
Y'all know this is like so out of my comfort zone.
let me get this one off of me. You
His
want?
underbelly is like so
That's cool. It looks
Isn't
like
that cool?
It looks like a old one of those floors in the diner.
Yeah, a diner floor. It's really cool.
But yeah, let me put him up. And then this other one's a rat snake. And it's
Rat snake, chicken snake,
Yeah.
all the same.
Yeah, but this one is.
He's been very like laid back the whole show. I was kind of concerned that he was not alive.
Yeah,
y'all.
you
I had
asked
to
me
ask if he was alive.
You asked me if it
Is that a male or female?
This is a female too, and her name's Tilly.
Tilly.
The granddaughter's name.
I love it.
But this is Tilly.
So
Yeah.
Tilly,
And
that's actually a pretty snake.
Yeah, it's a gray rat snake, but it's a phase called a white oak.
So
Why
this snake here will get much bigger, though, correct?
Oh yeah,
It's a baby.
they can get up to 7 feet.
Right. So this is a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So how old do you think this snake is?
This was born last year, so he's probably 9 months old.
Okay. And so they're free pest control. They keep nature in balance, you say.
They do.
And the snake venom is used to fight disease, and we were talking about that earlier. Like one vial of snake venom, $10,000.
Yeah.
$10,000. So if that does, and then sometimes you need up to 20 vials
Yeah.
guys, that's a lot of money. And so, like, you're looking at over $200,000
Yeah.
in bills. So, and how about if your insurance doesn't cover it?
Yeah, or if you don't have insurance.
Or if you don't have it. So, Chris's advice is to leave all snakes alone.
That's
And
it.
just to call him and his crew, right?
Right, yeah, we'll come take care of it for you. You don't even have to come out of the house.
And you were talking about too that they're more scared of you. That's why they have a defense mechanism. That's why they strike, and that's why
Right.
they bite, because
Yeah. Because think about it, if you didn't have arms or legs and some big person or something,
that's right.
100 times bigger than you is coming at you, all you can do is bite.
But that's true. That's true. So, and the other safety tips that you were talking about that I was reading on the graphic was like take pay attention. Like if you're going on like the hiking trail, I mean like Chief Ladiga, because I've seen snakes at Chief Ladiga trail before too. Don't provoke or harass. Use flashlights, stick to trails, avoid thick underbrushes, and teach your kids to respect them and not to fear them. And I mean, oh, look at them. That is so cool. I mean, this is why we're doing this, guys. I mean, this is so neat. I think that children, it's not going to bite me, is it?
It might. Oh. No, it's not going to bite you.
Okay.
I hope.
Oh dear, y'all.
Your hands might smell a little bit because of those.
Oh my God.
Look at there.
Oh my gosh,
Ellen
y'all.
and Tilly.
Oh my gosh, this is Tilly, and you can feel her muscles.
Yeah, they ain't nothing but a muscle.
Oh my gosh, y'all, this is crazy.
I can't believe you're holding
her. But that's amazing. And you know how you wouldn't think about how strong, especially when they get bigger. I bet they're hard to handle when they get bigger, right?
They're very strong.
Look at his tail. I mean, oh my gosh! But they're so sleek.
Yeah, a lot of people think, you always hear snakes are slimy, but
they're not. It's very sleek, very not slimy, not ewy, you know, like ew, you know. I mean, not at all. It's just like a neat little creature, actually. But you know, I think that, you know, teaching kids, like you said, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, one of the populations that the Alabama Cares program that we serve is grandparents raising grandkids. And I know that, you know, kids are outside all the time playing. I mean, that's what kids love to do, or I did when I was younger.
Oh yeah, that's what they put us in the yard and lock the door.
That's right.
So
Don't come back in. You should bring you a ice cream or a pop.
And use the hose to turn the water. Hot water.
Drinking hose water. Back the good days, right?
That were the good days.
We didn't know how good we really had it back then. Exactly. But I think it's very important, and I think it's so awesome the work that you do. And you just do this on the side, and I think that's just so awesome of you to do this, because we do need to coexist. I mean, you know, the good Lord put them here for a reason, right?
Right.
And even though I know that God made them crawl on their bellies for a reason, and the whole story, I know the whole story. But they're still here, you know. And like you said, I mean, they're wonderful mice catchers and moles and all the things that you don't want around your house, number one. But how important it is just to leave them alone.
Right.
I think that's the biggest message here.
Oh, that's exactly right. That's the best advice you can give.
Yeah, just to leave them alone. Don't try to figure out. I mean, it's neat for us to know the whole thing about the Hershey kisses and the tornadoes and the patterns and the scales and the eyes and the head. It's fascinating. I've learned a lot today. But on the other hand, if one of those are in your yard, you're not going to get down there and look at it and call Chris and say, "Hey, I think it has tornado print." You know what I mean?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Don't do that. Just call Chris and just say, "Hey, I've got this species out here. I don't know what kind it is, but can you come get it?" And how do they? And like, say for instance, if you're 20 minutes out, how can somebody like keep it at bay to where you can come get it?
You really don't have to do anything. You just kind of sit back or stand back or whatever, 12, 15 feet, and just kind of keep an eye on it until we get there. If you're just leaving it alone, they're probably going to stay in the same spot. But if you're over there trying to hit it with something or whatever,
or trying to get it, or
they'll leave because they're scared they're going to run.
Right.
But if they think you can't see it, which they rely on that camouflage,
right,
they're going to stay right there.
And hey, their camouflage is amazing. Like in the leaves and stuff, man, they can camouflage themselves. That's why I think it's so important when you go hiking or walking to carry a stick or whatever with you.
And wear closed-toed shoes.
Yeah, closed-toed shoes. Oh, yes, most definitely. Because it's amazing how close they are. I mean, wow, right?
Yeah,
and even like on trees and stuff sometimes. I mean, it's just amazing. Their camouflage, how the good Lord made on them. It's just amazing.
It is.
And again, we're going to show the graphic of the phone number for you guys to call in case you need to call Chris at Snake Removal of Calhoun County. And remember, it's surrounding areas as well. So it's 256-405-6755. And make sure that he will help you out. He will come and get it, so you won't have to worry about your kids, yourself, or anything like that, because you want them to exist. And we're not going to tell you where he releases them.
No,
we won't
no.
tell you where he releases them.
And then even if you're in Florida or Georgia or something, I mean, I know all the snake nerds is what I call us. We're all friends, so
And he can steer you in the right direction.
If you're in Texas, California, it don't matter. We can just you can call. We'll get you somebody.
Thank you so much for coming today.
You're
I have
welcome.
learned a lot. You have educated me. That's been
That's
awesome. So don't forget our event next month for the Community Healthcare Series. We were having Grandparent and Kids Month. We're going to have jumpy houses, all the things, door prizes, all the good stuff. So make sure about that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I hope it's snake free. And we will see you next weekend or next Friday. And I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next time right here on WEAC TV 24, Rise and Shine.